Welcome back to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We thank you for tuning in. All things are possible to those who believe, and we've got a great show for you. Caitln Clark, the Indiana Fever, six man, the fans, the WNBA national media versus the history of the WNBA that was only shown in local media. And how it works, the coverage from a local standpoint to the national standpoint. Give you an example of that. Caitln Clark is national media, 100%, no doubt about it. And when you get to the national stage, things change. Peyton Manning, that's national media. I cover Aaron Rodgers, that's national media. The stage is bigger. Everything you do, every pin drop will be acknowledged. But I'm here today to talk to you about Caitln Clark, the Indiana Fever effect, the fans, and the Indiana Fever six-man. I listened to Kahleah Copper take the podium, the national media podium, and say it is disrespectful for the fans the way they treated Bonner, who left the Indiana Fever. DeWanna Bonner left the Indiana Fever on her own regard, leaving a team desperate and trying to sabotage or make it so the Indiana Fever can't win. That backfired, and that backfired to the stage of Alyssa Thomas, just an embarrassing performance, yelling and screaming at the fans of the Indiana Fever, taking this game well beyond, but you're not going to win. The WNBA has been under local media, and now it's moved to national media. The NBA owners have said enough's enough. We want you gone. We want you gone. What does that mean? If you play in any other league besides the WNBA, you're gone. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you, and don't come back again. That's what's happening right now in the WNBA. You look at it, Caitln Clark, has she had an impact on the WNBA? Absolutely. She sells out at home and sells out on the road. The whole purpose, as you look at the fans in the WNBA and the Players Union, want to take credibility for fans and attendance and viewership, but that was never there. You were local. You were never the national media. That's what Caitln Clark has brought you to the national stage. In the national stage, the fans, the culture, it's different. You got to look at that from the standpoint when you play in the NFL. If you go there and I walk that field at 9 a.m. in the morning, I'll tell you, there's a lot of insults that flies out to players. There's a lot of things. I told you the WNBA is a cupcake party when it comes to fans and who's capable of being in there and when you are on the national stage. In the NFL, the national media, you don't interview in the locker room. You interview at the podium. Yesterday, there was a player, I believe, Alyssa Thomas, was called and expected to show up. Refused. We don't want you. It's time for you to be gone. That's what the WNBA owners are expressing, the $250 million, because they're going into the national media stage. We're looking for squeaky clean players. 100%. In the Indiana Fever six-man, you're well within your right to boo any player. When you buy that ticket, you have a right to boo that player, and you have a right to cheer for who you want to cheer for. That's the business of the national media. That's the way it works. The WNBA players are been misrepresented or misunderstood because the National Football League, the National Basketball Association, Major League Baseball, they have millions of fans that come in attendance. You get to the playoffs and there is nothing but a high-tune environment, but it's the national stage. The WNBA has never been on that stage, and now it's starting to show. The collective bargaining agreement is going to move forward because they're looking for the national stage. Indiana Fever games are sold out multiple times over. They're sold out on the road and they sold out at home. The viewership was never reaching the level of Caitln Clark, and now the Indiana Fever six-man, they have a right. They have a right because they are the ones that have built this league. They have supported it. They will not be disrespected. WNBA coverage today versus the history. This is where it really gets real for the WNBA, because back in the 90s and the 2000s, You could have did anything you want. Nobody ever paid attention. Why? It's on the local media stage. You head to the national media stage, every pin drop will have a tornado or will be a effect as if a bomb has landed just off of one word, even one syllable. You got to look at this. Look at Trinity Carter, not in the league today. In the 1990s, the 2000s, before this year, Trinity Carter could have bodied a player just like Caitln. Nobody would have cared, right? Because nobody's on that national stage that's willing to take a look at that. But because the WNBA is on that national stage, what has happened? Now you've reached the point where you're no longer wanted in this environment. The WNBA has made it clear. ESPN, they cover the national news. Angel Reese has made an adjustment to understand I am part of the national media. Everything I say will be taken out of context and will be twisted around until it falls into place. Why the shift matters. This would have never happened again with Trinity Carter. So why does all this matter? Because media visibility changes the game. I repeat, national media visibility changed the game. 41 games on national TV. 41 games being shown on every national sports network. Cover reporters, the questions now have changed. Caitln Clark has opened doors, but the players are fighting it. They want the individuality that they had at a local stage, and they're going to get it because you're going to stay on that local stage. Doesn't matter if you're Asia Wilson, Arike Agumake, or Breanna Stewart are walking through to be out of the WNBA. It doesn't matter to the WNBA owners that you own the unrivaled. They could care less. They want you gone. They want you out this league, and they don't want you to ever come back again. The WNBA players, because of the national stage, are negotiating a CBA agreement they won't even be part of. What's the call to action? If you were here for the long haul, the players, they would support the WNBA, but they're better off suited to support the W. They're better off suited to be on the local stage where they can do what they want, say what they want, and go where they want. But the WNBA owners, this will not happen on the national stage. The Indiana Fever fans, I tell you, you are the flagship. Don't change a thing. You've earned the right. You paid money. You supported this game. Now, you're not going to lose your freedom of speech. You have a right to boo a player. You have a right to walk through there, as WNBA may not be aware. But in the NBA, they tell you, the fans tell you suck. In the NFL, they call you names you haven't heard of. But in the WNBA, you want respect, but much is given, much is required. They've given you more than you should have received. You haven't earned the privilege yet, but still, you're taking the podium to say you have. That's called local media, folks. On the national stage, that's called unacceptable behavior. The WNBA right now, the owners are making it clear, we want you gone. To wrap it up, Caitln Clark didn't just bring a jump shot, she brought a spotlight to the WNBA. And I'm not walking down where a rising tide lifts all boats, because that's not true here. I'm going to tell you 100% that's not true. Some of these boats are sunk in so deep you can't even reach the bottom of the sea. And it's time to move on. The WNBA last night, the Indiana Fever, they once told me 18 months, 2 years ago, that we have the best players in the world. I've seen the Indiana Fever take 2 players right off the street just as good and maybe even better. One player, you look at Bibby right now, never even played in the NBA, walk in there and shooting the ball just like she belongs. That's what you call national media, and she gets it. You may not like the Indiana Fever. That's going to be your choice. But the WNBA Indiana Fever are the national media stage. The Golden State Vacaris are the national media stage. If you want to be on this national stage, then there's a requirement, or we're going to get you out of the league. You go play in rivals, you'll never come back here again because we don't want you. You want to go overseas? Don't worry about it because we don't want you here. But keep in mind, the NBA has a lot of reach, and it's a conglomerate. It controls all the partners. Where they're going to get players from? Well, Japan's got some pretty good guards. There's no doubt about it. Brazil's got some good players. France has got some good players. The money that they're going to play the players is going to change, but that's not going to be for the local players who have come with the intention of destroying the league, not growing the league, and now they're asking for a raise. There's no raise to be given. Much is given, much is required. The WNBA players disrespecting the fans. Let me explain something very clearly that the national stage and the national media understand. The fans are the product, not the player. I repeat, the fans are the product, not the player. The player is replaceable, but sometimes people don't understand. There's been fans who have been season ticket holders for 30 years. That's the product, right? The NFL, the fans are the product. Major League Baseball, the fans are the product. But in the WNBA, you believe you are the product, and you're nowhere near the product. I say this with an open heart and an open mind. This is more than just basketball. You've got a clash of two movements that are coming together. One side, you've got a clash that says, hey, we want to be represented and we want rights. And you got another clash on the other side. We're billionaires and we don't care about your rights. And it's time for you to go. And don't look back and don't come back. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. I tell the Indiana Fever fans, the sixth man, you keep doing your job. And may other WNBA franchises who clearly understand and NBA owners understand that's the job of the fan. The fan is the product, not the player. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. Folks, sometimes I have to deliver a tough message. It's not going to be a fan favorite, but I'm telling you now, we don't want